Is it there? Is it going? There we go. There we go. What's good, Spurs Nation? It is OOC. Today I'll be hosting on my page, Clan the Spurs Fan. I just want to start off by saying, how are you guys doing today? I'll start with Rob. He's looking cheerful. How are you doing today, my boy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just did a film room over there on my channel, Booking Spurs. So I'm ready to talk. I'm warmed up, man. I'm ready to talk Spurs.
I got you. Who was the film room on?
Spurs versus Memphis.
Out of curiosity.
It was just the matchup.
Nice.
It was the matchup back in November 11th is when we played. That's the game. Check it out. Go to my page.
Cool. That's gonna be a good one. All right. So how you doing, Harrison Ford? How you doing?
Man, it's
How you doing,
I'm
Matt?
wearing the beanie because it's officially wait, no, I can hear you.
A little bit of a delay.
It's lagging a little bit, I think. Can y'all hear me?
Here,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm wearing this beanie because it's finally hit that time where my hair is too long to show it off in public. So it's not cold. If anybody's wondering, it's kind of hot into this thing, but I wanted to look presentable. So that's where I'm at.
dude, it's super cold in here. So how you doing, Maddie?
I'm doing good. I don't really know what's going on with my room and why it looks like I'm filming in Mexico with like the yellow tint. It's like every Hollywood movie that films in Mexico. It's like, yeah, but I got my dog Brownie. What's up, Brownie?
Yo, Brownie.
Hey, Brownie, say hi. There she is.
Hey.
Yeah, that's my homie Brownie. But no, I'm doing good, man. I got a haircut today actually, so shout out to Harrison. My hair looks good. At least for the next couple of weeks, my hair will look good. But
Man, you had to do me like that.
Looking sharp. You got a little bit of a fade, man.
Dude, check it out, man. I got the whole fade going on.
Oh, that's a mohawk.
Yeah, I got
a
the whole.
mohawk?
Yeah.
Hey, you only get a mohawk if you're ready to if you're getting ready to go out and do some business. You're gonna, I don't know.
Absolutely, man. I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, we gotta
Getting ready to go.
we got a
catch
really
a virus.
Nah, dude,
We're
we're
don't even
straight
put that on him. Yeah, we got a really good show for you guys today. We're gonna start off by telling you about Jakob and his free agency. So, is that a thing? Is he going to be a free agent? Who knows? Is he going to go ahead and leave the Spurs? Who knows? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Pop going to the Nets. Apparently, the Nets gave him a Godfather offer that he just can't refuse. These articles are ridiculous with things like that. And also, we're going to talk about the restart and is it even worth it? Because at this point, all the players dropping out. We're going to get everybody's take on that. Is it even? Is it worth keep going? I mean, what's the point at this point? You know what I mean? And also, we're going to talk about DJ getting a haircut. But go ahead and start off with Jakob and free agency. He actually was asked about free agency. He gave a very honest answer. Oftentimes, we want players to be completely honest when they have to answer questions, and damn it, he was honest. The quote is, I'm going into my 5th year in the NBA. I'm not saying now that from the start I expect to play 30 minutes in the 5th year, but I expected progress every year. Maybe a slap at the Spurs. Who knows? I'm going to take the challenge personally. It depends a lot on how well I play. He's talking about whether or not he gets playing time with the Spurs. Last year, I expected more from myself, but also from my role and my minutes. That's why I don't want to play another year under similar conditions if it doesn't have to be the contract year. There's obviously some pros and cons with playing and not playing. Earl said it was just a matter of the business side of it, the health side of it, trying to figure out what makes the most sense. So I want to start off with you, Harrison. What do you take from this? Do you think that Jakob is gone for sure, or do you think that it's a big deal? Do you think that it's just a normal thing, or what's your take on this?
I mean, I kind of expected this, to be honest. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Maddie and I were just talking about this yesterday. Actually, we were filming a video on James Wiseman, and we're talking about big men around the league. Really, big men are a dime a dozen these days. I know everybody likes to talk about, we need a big man this, we need a big man that. Yes, they're needed in the league, but you look around, I mean, look at how many big guys just switch teams every year on minimum deals and smaller deals, trying to find a consistent home. Even the ones on big deals. I mean, you look at Clint Capella. He was signed to a huge deal and just traded because Houston decided they didn't want to deal with him. How quickly DeMarcus Cousins has fallen from grace just with injuries and all that. Willie Cauley-Stein being one of those athletic bigs. Us with Dwayne Dedman and how he moved around. So, I mean, I don't blame him to test his market value. It's what any of us would do with any job. We want to get paid as much as we can for doing what we do. One thing that helps is we hold a qualifying offer for him. So it's not a for sure thing that he's gone. Match in contract that's thrown at him. So I'd like to see him back. We just got to see what everybody else is going to offer. Obviously, I don't want to overpay because of that reason that big men are a dime a dozen nowadays. And I think if we get a decent deal with him, let's bring him back. But if somebody throws a ton of money at him, I think it's time to just walk, which is a shame, but it is what it is.
Did the comments bother? Did the comments bother you though, Harrison, or do you think it's fair? Like, is there reaction from everyone else and kind of putting them in a hot seat? Do you think that's fair or not?
His comments don't bother me. I mean, the thing is, he was asked the question, and he answered honestly. And to me, I think it's a little hypocritical if the fan base get upset that he answered this question honestly when with so many other players, just to name a few, like LaMarcus Aldridge, Kawhi Leonard, even DeRozan with guys right now, we're wanting answers. We want to know, are they coming back? What are they doing with their player options? Are they going to sign an extension? He was very candid. I mean, that's all you can ask for out of him. And I mean, he said he would be open to coming back. He'd be open to another team. I don't see any problem with it. That's just a good answer. He didn't come out and just say that. He was asked the question and he answered it. So no, I don't have a problem with it.
What do you think, Maddie?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
I can hear you.
I unplugged my headphones, so I didn't know if that would change anything. Like Harrison, I don't have a problem with it. I'm a little more worried in the sense that I think he's one of our most underrated players. I mean, he's one of our highest players according to the plus minus. Now, obviously, it's kind of one of those flawed stats, but I mean, his impact cannot be understated. I think he has been criminally underused. I think, I was a big Pau Gasol fan. I was one of like the 3 Spurs fans across the board that actually like Pau, but I definitely agreed that Jakob should have gotten kind of the keys to the center position last year and not have been battling with Pau Gasol for most of the season, or the first third or whatever he was on the team for. But yeah, we can match whatever offer that he gets in the free agency or not. Yeah, as a free agent or restricted free agent, but I do hope we keep him. I really like him as a Spur. But yeah, it's like Harrison said. I mean, if any of us were in that position, we'd all do the same thing. I have no problem with the comments. I have no problem with him testing the market and seeing what his value is. I prefer that because the Spurs should really kind of see like, okay, if this guy's fetching a high price, then we might want to keep this guy for at least the short term. So it'll be interesting to see what he gets. But yeah, Harrison does have a point. I mean, centers are kind of a dime a dozen, and especially with Jakob's game with no outside threat, no ability to kind of handle the ball, which is kind of a trend you're seeing out of centers in the NBA. I mean, I don't really know how high of a price he's going to get. I mean, he's an excellent rim protector, no doubt. He's a good rebounder, and he's coming along a little bit offensively, not really where we want him to be yet, but the potential's there. So I hope we keep him, but at the end of the day, if he decides to go and we don't want to match the offer, then it is what it is.
How much are you willing to pay for him?
It's hard to put like an exact number. I would have to wait and see what offers he gets in free agency. and then kind of have to take it from there. I imagine there's some Eastern Conference teams that would take a big swing on him. I wouldn't, especially because he's had some injuries. I wouldn't sign him for anything longer than like 3 or 4 years. Even that, I'd go like 2 or 3 years max, and then kind of reevaluate him from there.
Okay, I ask you that because I know I've been seeing a lot of comments from Spurs fans saying that 10 million is their cap. So I was just wondering what your cap was on that. But that's a good answer. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'm gonna back you guys up. I mean, everything y'all said is absolutely true. I think there should be no overreaction to what Jakob said. It's very blunt, but hey, man, this is 2020, and the NBA is, a very player-driven. They're in charge of their own brands, all that type of stuff. It's up to them to do what's best for their career, and I don't disagree with Jakob, man. I think Jakob should be more involved, but then that's across the board, man. I mean, that's Dejounte, Derek, Lonnie. That's everybody. All these young guys are ready for more, and you kind of see it right now as these young guys are all hungry on social media and kind of showing us what they're about right now. I feel like Rudy Gay is kind of backing the young guys up too. He's saying these young guys are ready to kind of do something. Like they're about to go into Orlando and do something. And Rudy Gay has always been the guy in that locker room, I think, that supported Lonnie in particular, but especially the young guys as well. I think the Spurs pay him. They pay him to be that veteran. They don't just pay him for what he does on the court. They want him to develop and really show these young guys. But it's up to the coaching staff, to get them involved. But anyways, I understand Jakob. And here's another thing, man. He was a part of the Kawhi trade. This is his 5th year. It's not like this is Drew Ebanks and Chimezi Metu that are in their 2nd year of development. This is year 5. And he didn't help himself out this year with the injuries. That's not his fault. But he never got consistent run when he was healthy. And to be a part of that trade, man, I remember saying, I didn't know much about Jakob, but I always heard about Siakam. I was like, why couldn't we get Siakam in the trade versus Jakob? And I don't know if that was ever on the table or not, but just saying,
they
man,
tried.
That was
they tried.
I'm just saying he was a big piece in that trade for us. Now, does Jakob and DeMar DeRozan have any ties to the Spurs? None. Hey, Kawhi left Toronto already. Hey, so why can't these two guys bail on the teams that they were involved with in the trade? So to be fair, it's up to them to do what they want. I think Jakob has all the capability on the court to be an effective player for us. But he's never gotten to show us. That's the thing. I think he has improved in the very small sample size that we saw of Jakob this year. I saw that he improved. I saw that he was more comfortable. He was showing us a little bit more of his toolbox, but that was such a small sample size. And if I'm him, year 6 of my career, I'm a free agent. I'm surprised he's even going to Orlando. I mean, we talk about Bryn Forbes getting the Spurs loyalty treatment. We gave Bryn Forbes the opportunity to earn his contract. We talked about that plenty of times on our show, how it was like a Spurs doing the right thing for Bryn and letting him play out that starting position. Jakob is a free agent too. And I'm sure Jakob is saying, hey, where's my opportunity to show what I can do? This is a big year for me as well. I'm about to be a restricted free agent. You know what I mean? And he wants more opportunity. It's not out of selfishness. It's just out of pure perspective in at the point of right now that he's in his career.
And I think you got to look at it in this perspective too. I mean, what is the context of all of this? I mean, every single player right now seem frustrated. They're frustrated with the situation. They're frustrated. A lot of them seem frustrated with the season even continuing. So with Jakob, not being certain about next season and this season being cut short and big possibility we don't even make the playoffs, he's frustrated. And not only that, when you look at somebody like Dejounte Murray, who is one of our leaders, he seemed frustrated when they talked to him the other day. I think he was talking to Chris Haynes, I believe, and he came out and he said, hey, wait until you get to see us. Wait till you get to see the young guys. We haven't gotten minutes. And I don't think it was coming out of, spite. I just think that overall, the team the young guys, they are a little frustrated. They do want to play, and they do think that they're capable of holding a heavy load. Now, whether or not that's true, haven't been seen, but they haven't gotten that opportunity yet. So for me, I'm not too upset with what Jakob said. I guess I just take it all in context, and seeing every single player talk and watching them talk and watching other teams and their players talk. These players are frustrated. They're irritated, and they're not in a position to tell you something that's, you know, extremely happy or, you know, glorifying the situation. And yeah, he's just like any other player, and he's young, and he's irritated. And I know this is going to be an opportunity for Spurs fans to point the finger at Pop and say, "Hey, this is what, you know, you get for not playing him." Which we're all with it. We all kind of agree sometimes, but on Pop and what he should and should not do. But at the same time, hey, they're frustrated. They're in a terrible situation. The whole country's frustrated. So I'm not mad at the man. I'm not mad at the man whatsoever.
That was for Maddie. I know you hear.
Oh, oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh no,
yeah,
no,
I guess I'm really feeling it right now.
It's like, damn, Destin, that's intriguing.
Damn. All right. So you guys got anything else to say about that? Any comments or?
Let me see. Like, how important do y'all think he's gonna ball out in Orlando, or what do you think is gonna happen there?
Man, I hope so. I mean, if he does, and that would almost all but guarantee that the Spurs are going to match whatever offer he gets in the free agency. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it'll be interesting because he was injured. Now, obviously, he's probably fully rehabbed by now. But you know how the Spurs are with the injured guys. You know, they're going to be extra cautious with him, and you know, maybe even have him on some sort of, you know, limits restrictions at least, you know, at the start. But we'll see.
I mean, I don't know that it's guaranteed that they match him is the thing. Because, you know, if someone overpays, it could be a situation like Kyle Anderson where we just think, that's a little too steep for us, and we let him walk. And we got this draft coming up where we're selecting higher than normal. I mean, we could go after a big there to replace them, or just look in free agency. So you never know. I mean, it's a situation that we're becoming increasingly used to over the last couple seasons. I think I saw a tweet. I don't remember who it was, but it was just like San Antonio seems to have lost that luster for role players. It seems that they don't want to go there and patiently wait to play. And some of that I disagree with, some of that I agree with. It's just I think it just depends on the type of player. And I think Jakob's the kind of guy who could flourish in San Antonio and has that mentality. But I think it's like Destin said, these young guys, I wouldn't necessarily say they're frustrated. I just think they're itching to prove themselves. It's like when you get in a job and you know that, you know, you're ready for a promotion, you're ready for more responsibilities, and somebody just keeps giving you the stuff over and over, and they're ready for more. They're you know, being given the same baby stuff. They're ready to have the training wheels taken off, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, here's a name for you. If someone does throw him out that contract, you know who I'm looking at? We've talked about him before.
Christian Wood, baby. We've talked about him before. I mean, hey, you know, they're like Harrison said, there's options out there. You know, there, as much as we love Jakob, and I think we all do, and we all want to see him play with us, you know, there's options.
Yeah, and he's one of those players, man, where, you know, and people instantly say, "Oh, you're disrespecting him if you say this." He's a replaceable player, and that's not a bad thing. He's very valuable. If we had a championship caliber team, you definitely want him on your team. I mean, he's going to help. He's going to make a play here or there that's big time in certain games, but at the same time, he is replaceable. He's more of a, you know, two-dimensional player. You know, he has a little bit more to his game as far as the pick and rolls and stuff like that, but for the most part, you know, I see him as a good defender, good rebounder, and everything else is more so average. But that's just my opinion. But he's most definitely, I think we all can agree that he's most definitely a player. And role players, no matter what, are usually replaceable. You can replace them. So, all right. So let's go ahead and go into. I saw a few comments in the chat talking about this. So hey, how about we go ahead and transition into that? Let's see here. Popovich, Gregg Popovich. So Popovich apparently was offered a deal, a Godfather deal. These journalists, writers love to do things like this, but Godfather deal that he just cannot refuse. So do you guys see, here's the question, do you guys see Popovich, not necessarily going to the Nets, but do you see Popovich for the right price, leaving the Spurs with probably Tim Duncan and getting a job somewhere else and ending off his career somewhere else other than San Antonio? I'm going to start with you, Maddie. What do you think about that? I'm
going to say fake news on that one. And actually, Sean Marks went on the Joe and Evan show. I have the quote here. He said, obviously, we all know he's an amazing coach, and to be quite frank, an even better leader. So I'll let Pop continue to coach for the Spurs. He owes it to them, and they owe it to him. I'm sure he's quite happy there. So I never bought into that hype. Even if they were going to offer him, I mean, the guy's like, what, 71 now? I mean, he's got more than enough money. I don't think he's looking at that, at this point in his career. Now, I don't want to speak for the guy, but I just think he's just built up such a foundation with the Spurs, and he's forever a part of us. And regardless of what he does, he's always going to be a part of San Antonio. But I would see more realistically him taking a position in the front office after he retires, kind of like a Pat Riley type of role. He's going to step down a little bit from the coaching responsibilities and kind of take a more back seat, but still kind of be a part of the front office and still be a part of the, some of the bigger decision making in the, in terms of like free agency or trading or drafting, probably drafting more than anything. But yeah, just to be blunt, no, I'd never bought into that. The quote obviously there kind of sealed the deal for me, but he's not going anywhere.
What do you think about that, Rob? Look like you're thinking hard over there.
Well, well, I was asking you, Harrison. Is he our VP of basketball operations or our president of basketball operations and our coach?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So if he ever steps down from being a coach, it's never to go and coach anywhere else besides USA basketball. Believe me, I think if he had the choice, he'd spend all his time focusing on USA basketball versus splitting his time with the NBA if it's not with the Spurs. I think he would just kind of take that role of that he already has and just kind of keep that one if he wanted to. But yeah, he's not going to the Nets. Fake news. Good job, Maddie.
What do you think, Harrison? Could you see him anywhere else?
So I actually tweeted about this yesterday, like early yesterday, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and some verified Nets account retweeted me, and all of a sudden I had all these Nets fans in my mentions at like 11:45 p.m. So there went my my earlier night. But here's what I have to say about that. One, their GM says no, it's not going to happen. Two, they can't just offer him unlimited money. I mean, one, there's a cap. Two, Popovich just signed a 3-year extension in April of last year. So we have him through the 2021-2022 season under contract. I mean, the only way he's getting out of San Antonio right now is through a buyout. And let's face it, San Antonio is not going to want to do that after they just made him the highest paid coach in the league, or through getting fired. And let's face it, San Antonio is not going to do that to him either. And, obviously, if a new collective bargaining agreement passes where, the Nets can offer assets and we can trade him. All that can go through, but then you have to ask yourself, is Sean Marks really going to throw potential first-round picks at a coach at the end of his career? When he could have, the Nets trouble right now with guys testing positive for the virus, they could flop in this whole experiment and end up in the lottery again. Is he going to throw a potential lottery pick at a coach, or is he going to use it on a player to fill out that roster? And then the last bit, a lot of the fans that mentioned me in there said that the reason it's possible is because if Pop asks for it, the Spurs will do anything for him. And, he's earned the right to have stuff done for him, but that's a big ask. And my thing is, with an extension that long, Pop had to know what he was getting into. Obviously, maybe he didn't think we'd have as bad of a season as we did this year, but he knew we weren't looking at being at the top of the West for the next 2 seasons here. I think essentially he signed on for 3 years to transition this team through this sort of rebuilding process into the next coach. Granted, that may be a longer stint than a lot of fans would like, but I don't think he signed on for 3 years thinking, oh my God, there's 3 years. Let's go add another 3 titles to my resume. It's just he's too experienced to think like that. And I don't think after signing that he'd go and say, oh yeah, let's get me out of this before even finishing the first year of that extension. It just makes no sense to me, and I don't think it's really possible at all.
No, I gotta agree with you. It makes no sense. I mean, literally, when I saw it on my phone, I just kept scrolling. I didn't even think or process that this was newsworthy or to even think about. So it's really ridiculous to even think, in my opinion, to think that he will go anywhere else other than just staying in San Antonio. Usually when a coach leaves, that a long tenured coach like that leaves their team and goes somewhere else and coach another team, end it off or try to go, chase a ring or whatever. It seemed like there's some type of controversy or something. I mean, other than us, first off, we might still make the playoffs, but other than us maybe potentially missing the playoffs after 22 years? 20. It's been a long ass time. I don't see Popovich 23. It's been a long time. So I don't see Popovich in any type of controversy with the Spurs. He seems like he's been, in a great position. Like you said, Harrison, I mean, they gave him the key and say, just drive this thing, drive it as far as you want to drive it until you're ready to go. What I could see now, not Popovich going somewhere else, I could see Pop ending the contract early, possibly. I could see that maybe a year early, and giving it to Duncan or something like that. But no, Popovich, he's going to go out just like Manu, just like Timmy. It's going to be a smooth selling, maybe not from fans, because fans, especially super younger fans, they're pretty irritated with Pop. But his career wise, and people that love Pop, adore Pop, he's going to go out in a very nice way, Kobe type season. So I don't think him going to the Nets is even reasonable. I saw one of the comments that we got in the chat that basically said that was it Skip? I think they said Skip Bailey said this, that KD and Kyrie would be too thin-skinned for Popovich. And you know what? It's Skip saying it, so we take it with a grain of salt. But if you really think about it, kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense because you look at Popovich and the players that he coached, you gotta be tough. And if you get irritated by what Pop says or you're too much of a diva, most part you're out of there. The biggest diva we've had is Tony. And maybe we could say Kawhi now, but Kawhi was so quiet till we can't, we didn't get much of a taste of it. Maybe Tony, but yeah. So if you're gonna be a diva, you're out of there. So yeah, he wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't think. I mean, he has complete control over everything with the Spurs. I mean, he has a say so in everything. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Real quick. Let me pause this really quick. Hey, everyone that's watching, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button down below. We really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, something needs to be said right now, and we're all talking about this in our group chat. Ruru just dropped a 20-piece on us. Ruru, thank you so much, Ruru. And not only thank you, Ruru, but I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with that $20. That $20 is gonna upgrade our StreamYard subscription for the month of August. And so for our first watch party that we're gonna do against Sacramento, Ruru, we're gonna try to tag you on that screen as much as possible as our Spurs like super fan, OOC super fan, that whole freaking game. Okay, so we really appreciate you, Ruru. Thank you so much for hanging out with us every week. And the rest of you guys watching, take notes from Ruru if you want to
hype yourself up.
Yeah. Cheers.
Ruru gave us the Godfather offer.
Yeah. We couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruru. Really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
We're really broke, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a college graduate who's job hunting. I have no funds, no income. So, I mean, everything's appreciated.
Rob lied. It's all going to Maddie. Thank you so much for donating to Maddie.
Donate to my cause.
We don't want Maddie to keep going to the sperm bank every other Tuesday. So that's why we're doing this.
No, it's every Tuesday, not every other.
He doesn't get any money for
that.
He has to pay to go there.
Moving on.
All right. Let's go ahead and go into the next.
Shout out Gregory
of tonight.
Gregory, that's our 1-2 punch right there. Our 1-2 punch of OOC is Ruru and Gregory. Y'all too, man.
Amen.
We appreciate y'all.
We love you. Okay, let's go into the next one. All right, so the next topic.
I see Tyler there. That's my fellow admin.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said shout out Tyler in there. I see him. That's my fellow admin on Spurs Talk.
Oh, Ty Aggie.
Oh my God.
I see you,
What's up,
Tyler. Hey, congrats, Tyler, on finishing your camp at the Air Force, man.
We salute you.
What's up? All right. So let's go and go to the next topic. So basically, Rudy Gay was asked, paraphrasing, but it was literally like a sentence. He was asked, what is it that he's going to bring back to his son from Disney World? It was a cute, question, and usually cute questions followed by cute answers, but not from Rudy. Rudy said what he wants his son to have is a COVID-free father coming home COVID-free. And I think that that's very telling. He was very serious in the matter. He just, told him straight up, I want to be safe. I want to be healthy. And he basically said, hopefully I'm safe. Hopefully I come back and I don't have the virus and I don't bring it home to my son. And as we've seen, I think today, Spencer Dinwiddie, they officially just said he's not coming or he can't come, basically. So my question is this restart really worth it? Now, for us Spurs fans, I think a lot of us going to quickly say, nah. I mean, is it really worth? Probably not. I mean, only because we don't know if we will make the playoffs anyway. But even as far as the product is concerned, do you guys think that it's really worth it with these players being so on edge about the whole situation and the rules and regulations surrounding it? We know DeMar DeRozan says something about that as well. So what do you guys think about that? I'll start off with Harrison. What you think, man?
Yeah, so first off, it was happy to hear from Rudy, but it was kind of sad hearing that coming from him, that's where his mind's at. And that's where a lot of players' minds at. That's where we are. But it also raises the question, like you said, how safe is this thing? How tightly have they planned this? And one thing that stays on my mind with this is what happens. They have this whole plan with a bubble. They're all going to stay in the same place. What happens if a player gets seriously injured in a game there? Where does he go? I mean, if you send him to the hospital, you're sending him directly to the center of this virus in a state that is one of the hubs of the virus in America. And it's one of those things. I hope they have it thought out. I would think they would, given how long they've been planning this. But there just seems to be so much that could go wrong and might go wrong and will go wrong that you have to wonder why they're doing this. And I know there's the whole the salary cap could decrease, and there's television contracts and all that. You have to wonder, at what point do they think, forget all that? We need to make sure people are safe and healthy. And another thing we didn't mention is, now we had Bradley Beal, the first huge name, say he's not going to play. Although I think that was more due to an injury than anything. But guys want to stay healthy. So, I mean, there's a ton of guys who have opted out in the last couple of days, and likely more to come in these coming weeks. The Nets themselves, I think, have 5 guys already who have either opted out or tested positive. I mean, and at some point you think, if that's going to be the norm for teams, why do it? Is that really the NBA if the teams aren't all together? So, I think it's kind of too risky. Honestly, I didn't really like the idea. Obviously, I'll be happy to have basketball back, and I'm going to watch, but I kind of think I agree with Mike. I don't really think it's that worth it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Rob?
I think that, it really depends on the players. Like, I would agree with you. A lot of players, I think, that have been in the league for about 4 years or more, 5 years or more, are kind of like, other things might be more important than this, So like Gordon Hayward going to go be with his child giving birth. He's going to go do that first. There's a lot of other players that feel like that. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of younger players. There's a lot of hungry players in this league, not just on the Spurs team, but that are itching for opportunity. And I think that, does it really matter in the terms of, championships and all that stuff? Well, I mean, it's going to be a championship in the history books, no matter what. That's the way I see it. So why not, if you're healthy, if you're okay, if you're not, worried about all the other aspects that come into this bubble, you just try to go out there and you try to play, and I feel like the NBA is going to do the best that they can to plan, right? And I think they're tightening all the nuts and bolts on this thing, and hopefully they can just give us a product that's competitive and entertaining. It's going to be different. I mean, I was talking to someone about this the other day, but as a coach, sometimes when we play in tournaments, we don't just play in gyms. We played actually here in South Texas at the McAllen Convention Center, and they just kind of put a court, out in a big like expo room, for like an outdoors expo or whatever. It's a different feel, and that's kind of how this is going to take place. So I'm just interested to see what the product is going to look like. I think that it's going to be new and entertaining. So I want to say it's going to be worth it from my point of view. I'm going to care about it like y'all do, just fiending for sports right now and basketball content. But at the same time, it's interesting, and this is going to go down in history, and this is going to be like a thing that people are going to talk about for a long time. And I hope that, it stays as safe as it can. And that's up to the players. Did y'all see the ring, Serge Ibaka's ring?
No, I haven't seen it.
You saw it, Harrison?
Yeah.
You know, Harrison?
Yeah, I saw it. That thing was pretty cool.
Dude, it looked dope. It's like all the players are wearing a ring now that can detect early symptoms of COVID. Yeah, so they all have to wear the ring at all times. Even not just players, staff, coaches, even media people, they're all wearing the ring. So as soon as like temperatures start going up or whatever, or they start noticing all these other signs, like boom, they detect it. So it's real advanced in there. That's what I'm saying. The NBA might have done enough work, I hope, to I put it all the hands that I trust the hands of Adam Silver to do that.
Yeah, I trust Adam Silver as well. He's been a great commissioner in my opinion about every single issue that's come up. But what do you think, Maddie? You agree with Robin Harrison?
Yeah, so I live right outside Milwaukee, so I listen to a lot of local sports talk, and obviously with the Bucks, a lot of people want they want the season to restart because they know this is a great chance for them to win a championship, and they don't know how many they're going to have, especially being a small market team. But they were talking about this too, and one thing they kind of brought up that I thought was worth talking about is kind of the allocation of these resources. I mean, we're giving these players tests. Obviously, they're having like a crap ton of testing kits for all these players to test them like every other day. And, I just think they were talking about how, there's a lot of people out there that can use those that aren't going to get it because the allocation of the resources is going to be so heavily invested into, the NBA bubble and these professional sports teams.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a decent point to bring up. Personally, for me, I mean, even talking with my friends that are Bucks fans, they're just kind of like every time they see a new guy that has COVID or a guy that's going to sit out, like Bradley Beal, Spencer Dinwiddie, they're like, "This is pointless. Like, why are we even doing this? Like, we all want basketball back, no doubt. I mean, even fans of like a team like the Spurs that obviously aren't going to be contending for a title, we want them back. We want to watch basketball, but it's just at what cost?" And and Giannis even was quoted saying that whoever wins, he argued that whoever wins this championship will have an asterisk next to it because it's going to be the toughest championship the team will ever win. And I just disagree.
Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be guys sitting out. There's going to be guys that might get it during the NBA resumption, and then they'll have to sit out. There's guys that were injured that wouldn't have returned otherwise that are now back. So it's just it's such a weird situation, and the circumstances are so unfortunate because we all want the NBA season back, and we all want the players to be healthy, but we kind of want they want to have their cake and eat it too, and it's just not going to work out that way.
Yeah. I mean, I got to kind of agree with you on this one. It just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't seem like it is worth it. I think back when we were talking about this, like a couple months ago, maybe, and we were talking about, is it worth it then? And that was before the NBA said anything. And I think circumstances now are even worse than when the NBA first initially said, "Hey, we'll do it in a month." I think that they were thinking in the realm of things should improve by that point. And as we know, it's only gotten worse. And like we said before, sports is just a microcosm of the society. And when you see what's going on with sports right now, there's so many players that got it. There's so many coaches or assistant coaches or whatnot. Some of the teams aren't even coming out with who has it, but it's so many people coming out saying they got it, and it just doesn't. I just don't know if it's worth it. Yes, I'm gonna watch. Yes, I love the Spurs, and that's what I'm gonna watch it for. And as far as what Giannis said, as far as him saying, this is the toughest, I don't necessarily agree, like you said, Maddie, but I guess at the same time, I kind of understand where he's coming from with it, because I guess he's saying it's gonna be the toughest, not only because just the structure of how this is set up, because this 8 games is going to be nasty. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I guess he's just saying the fact that it's going to take a lot of mental strength, being able to having to stay in this bubble and not go outside of it, and then competing every single day at a high level and being worried about, the virus as well. So I think that's might be where he was coming from with it. But yeah, man, I guess I don't want to say I'm on the fence. I'm not on the fence. I would just say it's not worth it if I had to give an answer. And I said that then, and I kind of feel it now. And things are getting hit really, really, really hard. Really hard. And hopefully it gets better within the bubble. Hopefully it all, works out and no one else gets it once this starts. I think it's cool that the NBA is at least allowing players not to go. But players that we thought weren't going to go, now they're jumping in. Dwight Howard, and these players are going to use the platform to the best of their ability to help with social injustice. But it's just so much going on right now. It's a tough situation. You guys got any other comments or want to add to that, or say any chats that we should talk about regarding this?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, all right. I'm pretty good.
All right. Well, let's transition to something a little more fun. Now that we're all depressed, just go ahead and bring our emotions back up. So let's go ahead and talk about Dejounte Murray, our boy Dejounte Murray. He has cut his hair. Now I'm gonna bring up the picture because I have the picture. All right, and most people just say, "Oh, this is not a big deal. He just cut his hair." But no, I got something to say about this. So our boy cut his hair, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it on the. Can you see that? Oh, over here, you can see him right there. He cut his hair. Now, I see this as continuity. I see this as leadership, and I see this as growth. What do you guys think about this? Him cutting his hair just randomly like that. What do you think about that?
I'll start with Destin, you said it perfectly, Destin. I don't think I got anything. That was beautiful.
I know, man. I'm so elegant. What do you think, Maddie? You like that?
Well, speaking from experience as a guy who recently got his hair cut, my confidence today has just been through the roof. And next couple of days, I'm shooting shots I never would otherwise. And then,
how many numbers did you get today?
Yeah, right. Yeah. A week from now, it's back. No, I mean, with Lonnie and Dejounte, it's going to be interesting to see if they change their way or something. I don't know. Like, you got to remember before the season was suspended, Dejounte was playing really well. So, maybe it's just a mentality thing for them, just cutting their hair. Obviously, Lonnie's haircut, there's a tremendous story behind it, just incredible. So, maybe it's just a mentality thing for them that kind of enables them to unlock something inside them that they didn't otherwise. And, there you go. We'll see what happens.
What do you think about it, Harrison? You jealous?
Yeah. So on the flip side of Maddie, I feel like I just took like the biggest L in the stream. Just consider I'm wearing a beanie to cover mine up. So one, I feel like I got some work to do in a couple of days. Two, same thing. I think he's kind of showing solidarity, showing his teammates he's with them. Let's go, we're together. And three, who's next? Are we gonna see something from Derek? We're gonna see Patty go back down to his old style. I mean, this would be interesting if it comes full circle. So yeah. Old Patty was undefeated, man. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Hair's gotten longer ever since. That's the secret to them winning a championship is Patty's hair. They need him to go bald again.
I heard that Becky was next, but we'll see what happens with that. What about you, Rob?
Man. I'm excited. To me, they look tougher. They look a little bit scarier when you put him and Lonnie next to each other with that haircut. They look like they got it from their uncle, and they're ready to go out and hoop. You know what I mean? Like they just look like they're all about. This is kind of what I was talking about the other day. It reminds me that they're all about. It makes me think that they're all about the business right now. And that's why I'm saying it's like a lot of people may not be ready to come back and want to come back and play, but some people are. And I feel like there's a lot of other players like Dejounte and Lonnie across the league that are young and hungry. And I think the haircut says all of that.
Yeah. I think it's two things. All right. Number one, this is going to be my more like devil's advocate. Maybe he just did it because, they probably can't have a barber. So, he just let it grow back out while he's there. But the other side of it, the more important side of it, I think he really did do it out of a place of leadership because, like Maddie said, Lonnie Walker's story behind it, none of us could have guessed it. That's crazy. And his story behind growing his hair and, now cutting it off, it was bigger than all of us could have thought. And I will put money on DJ definitely did that because he's close to Lonnie, and he did it to show him that I'm with you, brother. I'm here for you. And I'll do the same, and I'm going to be the leader of this team. I think that was a leadership move. I think it was a very mature move, and I think it was very it was just a very cool thing to see from our young guys. And we all know that DJ and Lonnie are really close, like really close. He was one of the first guys, or I think Lonnie is on record saying that DJ was the first guy that spoke to him, right? The first Spurs player, at least the one that kind of tried to take him under his wing, even though he's young too.
Derek. I mean, not sorry, Derek. Dejounte is the guy who is making this transition from first year Austin, spending the whole year over there and kind of understanding why and the pros and cons or whatever. Dejounte's taken that leadership to communicate. I'm pretty sure the Spurs gave that responsibility to Dejounte to communicate to these young guys, to lead these young guys that are about to go through what they're about to go through. And I feel like and that happened with Lonnie, like you said. And so when Lonnie got there, DJ was a huge part of him understanding the purpose of what he was about to go through in Austin.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so he is that guy for him, like you said. That's really, you guys know that I get on to Dejounte quite a bit, like more than most people. But at the same time, I can't deny the guy willingness to try to take on that role, like his willingness to try to be a leader, his willingness to take the last shot if he has to, or if he has the opportunity. He's not afraid of anything, and he seems like a really, really cool guy to hang out with. And he seems like a really cool guy that could be a lifetime friend for some of these players. And that's very, very promising. And just this move right here that he did, I commend him, man. That was pretty cool. That was a cool thing to see as a Spurs fan. So what else do you guys think about that? You got anything else you want to add to it, or questions, anything like that?
Should we do like an OOC a group haircut? We all get the same cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should do that. like a part right here, like a curled part.
Nah, just straight scissors. Harrison, get the scissors, bro.
No, I'm good.
Everybody,
I'll get my clippers
right now. Harrison will shave his hair right now in the video.
Y'all put $100. Whoever dropped $100, Harrison.
Hold on, it's gotta be more than $100 because it's gonna take me a while to find these damn clippers.
Yeah.
Hey, right. So I thought that maybe. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, hey, real quick, guys, just a friendly reminder that the first watch party for OOC is for the Spurs Sacramento game. So that one is going to be free for everybody to watch. And then starting August 1st, I think our next game is on the 2nd. The Spurs versus Memphis, I think, on the 2nd. Everything from there is membership only, 6 men, OOC 6 men only. So make sure to go to OOCspurs.com and get your membership now.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna put that right down here. There we go. All right. So I just thought that maybe we could end off the last 10 minutes just chatting with the group chat. So if you guys could if you see a comment, you want to just comment on it, go for it. But this is a fun one that I saw.
Hey, Destin, just to let you know, we can't show comments since it's on your channel. Just letting you know. So you got to show the comment.
Oh, really? You can't do it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's on your channel.
I got you. Well, how about this one? I'll just pick like the crazy ones. Whose haircut looks better? I think he's talking about Matt and Harrison. I don't think he's talking about Lonnie and DJ.
wait. Hold up a second. I'm gonna go and amend this comment for a second. But while I'm here, I may be tripping just because it's far away on my computer screen, but from afar with that haircut, Dejounte looks a little bit like J. Cole in his early days with that haircut. Or is that just me?
He does. No, he does. Yeah, he does. The fade and everything.
I was gonna say, I could definitely confuse the two if I had like my eyes squinted on the street or something. They both tall too.
That's true. What were you saying, Maddie? I couldn't hear you.
What was I saying? I don't think I was saying that. I was just laughing.
I'll answer the question. I'm going to answer the question for you, Chris. I think DeJounte's look better, and that's only because Lonnie Walker had his hair out, and it was kind of like, I guess it's technically dreadlocks, right? Would you consider that dreadlocks? It's kind of dreadlocks, and when you cut your dreadlocks straight off, you're not going to have.
It's like the dread without. Like it's like dread without the locks.
Yeah. So it's not going to be there. It's not there yet. Give him a couple months.
Yeah,
let him wave it up.
He's got to wear it. Yeah, he's got to wear his do-rag for a little while.
Hey, Dustin, throw up
what's up?
Cody's last comment.
Let me see.
Dark horse.
Yeah, while you're doing that, hey, we're doing this OOC live from Clan the Spurs Fan, but if you're on YouTube right now, don't forget to go to our channel, Order on the Court, and make sure to subscribe there for all of our stuff.
All right, here it is. Is it coming up? There we go. Who is a dark horse Spurs player y'all looking at? Maddie.
Classify dark horse. Your dark horse, Maddie, before you tell us who it is.
My dark horse is someone. I'm getting Dark Knight vibes right now. White Knight, Dark Knight. My Dark Knight is kind of the guy that isn't really going to get a lot of credit for his contributions on the court because it's not going to be eye-popping stats, but in terms of impact and versatility and just being a good, just a great player, I'm going with Keldon Johnson. Everybody, you guys all know I'm very high on Keldon Johnson. He was an absolute steal. I was actually in San Antonio and I was at the last Spurs Mavericks game, and I watched a little bit of your film room on that game, Rob, with Keldon.
Should have watched all of it, Maddie.
Well, I was actually preparing for this, but okay. Anyway.
Yeah, how smart did that haircut make you now?
I never said it, man. I don't know what you're saying.
Thanks for the plug, Maddie. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, I got you. But no, like, a lot of the points that Rob brought up in the video were like stuff that I saw. Like he was just a great energy guy. When his team, when someone like LaMarcus Aldridge got an and one, you see him pumping his fists and getting jacked. He was playing great defense on Luka Doncic. Doncic. I can't speak for some reason, but you know what I'm talking.
No one can say it. It's okay.
But he was playing great defense on him. He was rebounding hard. He was, playing hard on offense. He was slashing to the hoop. I mean, he just does a lot of little things, and I think he's someone that could explode in terms of his potential and be not the face of the franchise, but I think he can be, a top 2 or 3 guy on the team in the coming years. I mean, that's what I think his potential is.
I could definitely see that. What do you think, Rob?
Let me see. My dark horse. Well, first, my dark horse, I think I'm going to kind of classify it as the guy that needs to do well in order for us to win, but maybe doesn't start. You know what I'm saying? It's just maybe that guy that comes into the game. And I'm going to say Derek. I'm going to say we can be kind of as good as Derek takes us. I feel like he's going to have a good chunk of responsibility in this return. If he comes off the bench, like he did all season, I I see Derek being the guy that can really just control and maneuver games, because here's my thing. And Keldon Johnson's the same way. Without fans and stuff, without all that noise and with all that, you know what becomes really important on the court? Communication. Communication is huge, right? And so I think guys like Derek White, Patty Mills, guys, Keldon Johnson, he's going to be that guy. He's always hollering when he's on the floor. Keldon Johnson is always saying, ball, help, shot, whatever. He's always talking when he's on there. And a lot of these guys are like that. So it's those guys that are going to communicate well, are going to be the ones that help us. And teams that don't communicate well are going to have a lot of trouble out there and get exposed.
Okay. What do you think? Harrison? Agree with Rob, or you got someone different?
I agree with Rob. I think communication's a big part of it, and for that reason, I pick Mark Bellinelli. No, I'm just kidding. I agree.
Joke about that.
Ruru, I saw her. She stole my answer earlier. I think, as weird as it is, since he's a vet, I think Patty Mills has got to be my guy. I know it's a little cliche because he's done so well this season, but I think this type of format is built for him, especially his style of game. He's one of those, pure shooters, leader guys who can come in, doesn't have to do anything flashy. He just gets the job done and corrals the younger guys. I think he can build the younger guys up. And to me, a dark horse can do more than just fill that sheet. I mean, he makes the team better as a whole. So I think that's the guy who's going to really kind of show out for us in more ways than one, and allow those young guys to get better and keep the older guys performing at the level we know they can.
Yeah, I have to agree with all you guys, but I think more so if I had to choose one player, I'm gonna go with what Rob said, Derek White, and it's not just because I'm a Derek White fan and I ride his jock all the time, which I do, but I love Derek White. I love what he brings to the team, and in this situation, especially with the veterans, that's going to be extra tired or really going to have a difficult time, I think. Even LeBron said that it's so hard for older guys to get back into the game after being off like that. So I can see the young guys, especially someone like Derek White, who can use his brain and his athleticism to go out there and shine. And I think he's going to look even better than he did during the season. And we're going to be basically forced to play him. He's going to have to get more minutes. And more than likely, we'll see him with Dejounte. We're going to have to get very inventive not having LaMarcus Aldridge. So I saw this comment, and I want to go ahead and say, welcome to Spurs Nation, Ashley P. Welcome. We are so happy to have you. We don't have enough Spurs fans as it is, so we are so blessed to have a new one. Thank you so much for jumping on board, and for you to be new to the Spurs, jumping on board this year. You're a true. What was that? Did you hear that?
I'll give a huge shout out because that's actually my girlfriend. So I've been trying to indoctrinate her these past few months. So
I look stupid.
Hey, Harrison.
Yeah. No. Just to give you a background. I mean, she's never watched a Spurs game in her life. So by listening to us, she's kind of gotten to know the team. So now she's a fan. She's getting ready to watch the game. So we got to go.
Well, welcome, Ashley. Happy to have you here.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome. All right, so I was thinking that we could just take one more and go ahead and wrap it up. So let's see what we got here. This is a long one, but this one says Spurs have to trade LaMarcus and keep Jakob. If Pop is going to coach, we'll see more of what we saw in the regular season. So the rookies won't play. Walker won't play as much. Bryn 25 plus minutes. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Do you think the Spurs need to trade LaMarcus and keep Jakob, or do you think that they should let him go ahead and run off his contract? Because I think most of us can kind of agree he's probably gone after this year, right? I'm gonna start with you, Rob, just so I can keep the comment on the screen a little longer.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I don't want to see him go. I'm not saying that. I like what he's done for us, all that good stuff for LaMarcus, but I do think there's some truth that a lot of our younger players, Jakob, Lonnie, a lot of these guys aren't gonna flourish until he's gone, and or until he takes like a third player seat. You know what I mean? Like he's got to take that sacrifice. Like, yeah, I know I'm that good. Like Chris Bosh, you knew he was that good. He can give you 20 and 10 a night, but he's gonna take that back seat for something better, greater than themselves. And I feel like that's the truth for LaMarcus. And I kind of feel like it's either or, you know, it's got to either LaMarcus is going to have to go and give up all those shots, or DeMar is going to have to go and give up all those shots in order for a lot of these young guys to kind of take that next leap and flourish. And I don't know when we do that. I don't know if we trade LaMarcus. I'd rather keep him and we just, you know, do something different with him, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So what do you think about it, Maddie? Brian, let me try to take this off of your face. Where is it? I lost it. There it is. There you go. Go ahead.
So bad.
Everybody can see that beautiful face of yours.
Thank you. No, I'm actually more of a LaMarcus fan than most Spurs fans are actually. And I said if you know, the debate has been, you know, should we trade DeMar or LaMarcus or both, or what should we do with them? And I always said if you're going to get rid of one, then I would get rid of DeMar. Not that I dislike him or anything like that. He's been great for us. I just think, one, he's going to have probably a higher fetching price, going to get more return. Obviously, DeMar's was probably going to leave in free agency, but regardless, I think with LaMarcus, I'm going to disagree with Rob a little bit. When you have LaMarcus in the front court, I don't think he's going to take away reps and minutes and playing time from our young guys in the backcourt, you know, with like Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, Dejounte Murray, Derek White. But I mean, the guy who's taken away those minutes and reps is DeMar DeRozan. I mean, DeMar DeRozan's a very ball-centric player. He's not someone that plays off the ball very well. And so when you take a guy like that, and granted, I mean, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, obviously, but, you know, you take him out of the lineup and instantly you're going to have more reps, more touches, more minutes for Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, Dejounte Murray, and Derek White. You're going to have that's going to enable Pop to have more lineups with all, or at least like three of those guys. You know, you can have a lineup of Dejounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, and Keldon Johnson, or Derek White, Dejounte Murray, and Lonnie Walker, et cetera, et cetera. So, but back to the question, I mean, I'd hope LA stays. I do. I want an all-star caliber player on our team, and I want an all-star caliber player that knows his role and isn't going to take away from the young guys. And, you know, he's still a bucket, and it's still going to be nice to have with, you know, if the young guys aren't, you know, playing well or shooting well, to kind of have that as your kind of your floor to kind of fall back on. You know, he's almost like our insurance.
That's true. That's true. What do you think about that, Harrison?
I mean, frankly, what it comes down to is both DeMar and LaMarcus are going to take reps away from the young guys. It's what happens when you have an all-star who's older. That's what they do. They get their shots. It's just the name of the game. But I don't necessarily know that it's necessary to trade either of them right now. I've been a big vocal person about this. I think it's going to be a lot harder to trade both of them than people think. Everyone wants to throw around picks and players, but you got to take into account the team that LaMarcus is going to and the team DeMar is going to. You know, if you don't want that player, why should another team want them? And, you know, why, as far as picks go, why should another team be willing to mortgage their future for a declining star? You know, we talk about getting rid of a declining star, but somebody else has to bring in that depreciating asset. It's simple economics in human form, in essence. But as it stands, Ruger actually had a comment earlier. She's absolutely right. There's no excuses right now. LaMarcus is gone this postseason. He's gone. As long as we have rotations to get those younger guys the minutes, we'll see what happens. I mean, as it stands, we don't really know that he's the issue. We haven't seen a lot of the team without DeMar either, because they're both, to their credit, both of them play a lot. And I got to say, that's refreshing after what we went through with Kawhi Leonard. But, we don't know what the team is really like without either of them as it is. But we're about to see. So, if the team looks so much better and the young guys are just killing it and we're, balling out, winning games, let's look and figure out something we can do with them if we don't want to keep them and just let them walk through the next season. But I think you got to test the waters first before just immediately saying, let's throw them away here. Because it's really hard to pull off an NBA trade. I don't think people realize that. I mean, it takes months sometimes. I mean, we were on with Toronto for, I think, 2.5 months leading up to the Kawhi Leonard trade, trying to work out the finer points of the deal, going back and forth. And I mean, that's just one player we were trying to get rid of, and it turned into two that we got rid of. So it's going to take a lot of time. I don't think it's that simple, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll just give my take on it. If we had the opportunity to trade LaMarcus Aldridge, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't see a huge, just being completely honest, I don't see a huge value in having LaMarcus Aldridge right now. I mean, if we're talking about short term, maybe making the playoffs and first round exit, I mean, I guess, but he's a declining star. Yes, he had a really good season last season. I'm not saying he's been bad with us. He's probably the second greatest power forward we ever had, I would assume, So yeah, I mean, he's a lot of things. He's a good scorer. Seems like a nice guy. He's cool, but for the most part, man, I'm about winning. And the fan in me says, like, he can go. Like, if they traded him for, like I said this before, man, if they trade him for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'd take it and just cut it up amongst the team players, and just give it to them and let them have some nutrition before going into preseason or something, because I am not a big LA fan. I just feel like we don't go anywhere with that style of play right now. I feel like it was an experiment that just went terribly, terribly wrong. And at this point, there is no point. We've had opportunities to, win or do well. And I, in my opinion, I just don't feel like we really done anything with it. And that's not necessarily all LaMarcus Aldridge's fault. It's just that we needed him to fill into a role that he's not capable of filling. And I just don't see him, similar to what Rob said about DeMar DeRozan a couple months ago. I don't see him in our short term. I don't see him in our long term. I don't know where he fits right now with where the team is going and the direction in which we're going. And it doesn't help with all the comments about Trailblazers and all the other comments about when he was trying to leave and get traded. I want it to work out, but just the honest fan in me says I don't really care. And if I'm cool with him leaving, but that's my take on it. You guys can yell at me if you want. That's fine before we get out of here.
No, that's good. I mean, I can't argue with it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? I felt the same way about George Hill. Everyone loved George Hill. I'm like, we're not going anywhere with George Hill on our team. Nothing against him. I love him. He does a lot of things in South Texas. Like, he's a great guy, great Spur, still a great Spur, still being a great Spur in other organizations like Corey Jost and all that stuff. But there was just something about it in those 3 years that we had him where I was just like, you know what? I think it was like 2 years in a row where he was the reason I felt we got bounced out of the playoffs against Phoenix, against Memphis. I remember there was a few years there. And then we traded him for Kawhi Leonard. Look what happened, right? And I kind of feel like Lamar, that's the same argument. It's just like we don't have anything against him. He's a great player, but we've gotten a nice sample size of how good we can be with him as our number one guy, and it's not good enough. And I don't think that's his fault. It's just fit, maybe style play from the coaches. Who knows? But
yeah. I mean, it's fine, man. It's fine for things just not to work out. I don't hate the guy, I despise the guy or anything like that. It just didn't work out, and I don't think at this point, he can be the leader on a championship team. I don't even know if he can be the second guy at this point. So we'll see what happens, but more than likely, as far as him getting traded, it's not going to happen, man. He's probably just going to end his career with Trailblazers, leave the Spurs, go to Trailblazers for a year or two, and that'll be that on that. But that's all we got today, unless any of the guys want to say anything else. But I do want to go ahead and say thank you guys so much. You guys were awesome. It was extremely interactive. You gave us some really good material to work with. Honestly, the Popovich discussion was last minute, and you guys basically helped with that. So thank you so much for everything. And if you could please go over to oocspurs.com. All right. So I'm going to put it in the little ticker at the bottom. It's oocspurs.com. If you can go there, you can look at our packages, look at all the content we have on there, and join the family, man. Join the family, because we really want you guys to be with us on this journey, especially this year. And we want to do these watch parties with you. We got a lot of content coming out. I believe, Harrison, didn't you say you just did a show recently?
Yeah, Maddie and I were working on some film room stuff last night. We don't know when we'll release it and all that. It's just kind of taking a break from all the draft stuff for a while since the draft's so far off, but getting ready for it.
Yeah. So we're brewing up something. We're all brewing up something for you guys. So like I said, we really appreciate it. And please head on over there. If for anything else, if you don't join today, you don't join tomorrow, just save the link, put it on your phone, save it on your desktop or something, and go back to it when you're ready. But yeah, we just want to thank you guys. We really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I just put this on here. Did I spell this right? Court is adjourned. Did I spell that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? That's right.
Yeah.
All right. I should be in a spelling bee. All right, now, and before we leave, I do want to say this. Rob, could you go ahead and remind them when those watch parties are?
Yeah, guys. So first up, the biggest day on your calendar so far of this summer is July 31st, 2020, right? And not only because that's the last day of July, but it's our free watch party. Members only watch parties, and after the buzzer shows and prospect videos and exclusive content that's coming for you from us, all that, you can go to oocspurs.com, become a 6-man member for as low as $5 a month. And we just appreciate you guys so much. That's the day you want to jump into that watch party. We have a lot of things planned for you. We're still planning a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do not miss it. It's going to be kind of like this. We're going to be all watching the game at the same time, and we're going to be interacting. We're going to be talking smack. We're going to be making predictions, maybe making some bets, some challenges. We're going to give y'all shout outs. We're going to do a Dejounte Murray giveaway, jersey giveaway during that watch party. So I'm not giving away Dejounte Murray, but a jersey. So make sure that you guys are there. And then for more of that, a lot more of that, not just now, guys, this is around forever. This is as long as you guys make it possible for us to do this. It's not just going to be this season, but next season and so on and so forth. Plenty of Spurs content for you. You guys are the community. We're building that community. And we can't thank you all enough. And make sure that you put that day down on your calendar. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, and you can have all the information there. But go to oocspurs.com as well.
Yes. And one last thing. Tell them where they can find you, Maddie.
You can find me on Instagram at Spurs Fanblog or SpursFanblog.com. We get articles out. We're trying to get more out now. We kind of took a hiatus along with the NBA. You can actually check out Harrison's latest article on Tyler Zeller, kind of learn more about him. But yeah, just to reiterate, if you guys enjoy our content and like what you see, we literally cannot do this without you. The memberships that you guys would pay for, it's going to go into better streaming services, better camera equipment, better microphones, all giveaways, everything. So please, I'm even gonna call you out, Gregory, Ruru, Rich Boy, you guys have been awesome. You guys have been biggest supporters. Please sign up for memberships if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Just spread the word about us. Keep telling people to subscribe and to follow us on social media. And there's a ton of stuff you can do to help us out. And we appreciate you guys more than you know. So thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what about you, Harry?
It is Harry.
Oh, don't you dare. Contrary to what Maddie, what you believe, you cannot find me on OnlyFans. The only places that you can actually find me are Facebook.com/San Antonio Spurs Talk. I'm on Twitter at SA Spurs Talk 21 and Instagram at SA Spurs Talk. So give me a follow. Come say hi.
In that OnlyFans comment, he isn't saying that because Ashley's in the chat. Okay. All right. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Bucking Spurs across all social media platforms. I just put out a film room today, literally right before I jumped on here. I broke down the Spurs versus Memphis, a little bit of that game. I did one on Sacramento. I'm going to do one on some other teams that we're going to play in Orlando because I still care. I still care about what happens in Orlando. So even if it's not going to be 100% the same players, I still would like to know what's that's just the coach in me. I got to be prepared for what's in front of us, and I'm sure they're doing the same thing too. But if you want to see what all that stuff, make sure to go to my YouTube channel, and you can find everything there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm Clan, the Spurs fan. You can find me on YouTube, Clan, the Spurs fan. You can find me on Instagram, Spurs Clan, Spurs Clan and Spurs Dynasty, and on Facebook, Clan, the Spurs fan. I'm actually working on a new Spurs song, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, we really appreciate it. And till next time, guys, court is adjourned. There it is. Court is adjourned. All right. Deuces. There we go.